everyone, and welcome to Serve the Animals Summit. My name is Tanya Anderson, and today we have a very special guest with us. Her name is Amy Kerwin. Do I say your last name correct, my friend?
Kerwin? Yeah.
Kerwin.
Thank
Okay, amazing. So, as some of you may know, we have seen this amazing lady before. She have been on before, and I will invite her again because her mission about the monkeys is so critical that we know, like, what we are supporting through the product we are buying and what is exactly happening with the monkeys and why the monkeys is important to support and create information about that we will talk about a little bit now. So Amy, share a little bit about like who you are and who this amazing organization is called. It's called Primate Incompetence, if I said that correctly, your organization's name that you are founder of and director of.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Tanya. You're such an inspiration. So you really help, keep us all going and for the animals and the humans. And I formed Primates Incorporated over 22 years ago now, while I was working in a laboratory. So that's really what inspired me to form the organization. And it took over 16 years of overcoming challenges to even find land and get the sanctuary off the ground. But now today we are helping monkeys from labs and the pet trade. I'm glad to say at least we're helping 12 residents and setting an example for what's possible.
That is amazing. I did not know this took so many years to fund. That I did not know. That is crazy how many years it took to fund the organization.
And it was a time and pressure. I just kept at it and involved the community. And in the meantime, you have, say, local reporters and local laboratories saying there's no need for a sanctuary. We don't send our monkeys to sanctuary. So, you always have to offset that by sticking to the facts and say other labs are sending monkeys to sanctuaries. So there really is quite a need. So even just that, spreading awareness about the mission just took so much time and outreach, and then awareness and then the fundraising.
Oh my God, that is crazy. So guys, the topic Amy and I we will dig into is called Overcome Challenge in Inform the Sanctuary and the maintaining obstacle. So that is the topic Amy and I we will dig into. So Amy, share a little bit about what is one story that reminds you why you do the work, and what do your monkey teach you that human often forget?
Well, I formed the organization because of my experiences working in a laboratory in college. Actually, in a physics class, a friend of mine said, Amy, you have to get a job at the primate lab. It'll look really good on your application to veterinary school. And what I would find out later is I'd be going to business school instead because the primate lab itself, after I started working there after 5 years, it really inspired me to do more for the rhesus monkey species. I discovered how intelligent and smart they really were. And Sadie really sticks out. I remember all their names and personalities, but Sadie was a lab favorite. And everyone loved Sadie. And so she would present for grooming and everything. When you walked into the room full of 40 monkeys, and I worked with 97, so it's different floors of different monkeys. And I can't share what I saw with people, but that's why I work so hard to convey that those monkeys need us, even though people aren't seeing them, that they still need us. And then years later, people would say, why would you want to work with such aggressive animals? Well, they don't need to be cute, cuddly animals to need help. They're wild animals, unpredictable animals. And when I discovered how much the pet trade people need help in the pet trade, they buy them as babies and then have no idea that they turn into aggressive wild animals as they grow up. And then many wind up at sanctuaries leaving less room to help monkeys from labs. So I'm here to say that they're wild, unpredictable animals and let them be that. Let monkeys be monkeys.
Oh my God, so good. So true. And that is so important to really also like know that about monkeys. One thing I'm curious to know, I will ask that about in the end because you know that. So the next question I would like to ask you about, what have you found most effects in inspire people to give, and not from guilt, but from connections and sharing a responsibility?
I think that storytelling power word out there is truly really important to be able to tell the stories about the sanctuary residents. And then also not everyone agrees on testing on animals, but to be able to say that while the industry exists, at least we can all do is be sending them and supporting them at sanctuaries whenever possible.
Oh, so good, so good. It's so crazy. So around this, like, it's just so interesting. Like, what is like some people are sometimes like, what, I don't have the money to support or to like give to these organizations or whatever the cause is. What is some good like motivations for people to really knowing like what is the benefit for them to like donate some money or donate the coffee to you guys?
Well, knowing that we are setting an example for what's possible for the thousands of monkeys living in labs nationwide, I hope that more supporters will come on board and support Primates Incorporated. It feels like you're up against so much when there's thousands of monkeys in labs and in the pet trade, and then you're just helping when and where you can. We also help place animals at other sanctuaries whenever possible. So, really showing people what we're doing on a daily basis and then asking them to share the social media and the posts also. And that doesn't take any money, it just takes a little bit of time. Really spreading the word is huge. And then, of course, showing those cute monkey faces, but it's not just that, it takes a story too to go along with it.
Oh no, no. So interesting. So one of the things that I really love about your organization, Amy, is just this way how you are authentic about fundraising or authentic about your work. That is something I really value with you guys, and also believe that is so critical. We as a human, as also organization, we will step in to be authentic around fundraising to rooting in values and storytelling to connect with like the truth, connect with the hearts, and connect really be honest about it. So that is something I really love about you guys, where you will share your beautiful work.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I believe showing the public where their dollars are going is very
Yeah,
important.
yeah, exactly. So around like this, uh, when so around like this, like when I was like, what is that for word? So what principles guide your decision, and what mistakes have you learned most from, or teach you the most?
What I really like is that there are accreditation organizations out there with all the sanctuary guidelines already available. And the Global Federation of Animal Sanctuaries is my go-to our go-to at the sanctuary for our sanctuary standards. And they're above and beyond USDA licensing standards. And so we're USDA licensed as well. And those are, complex regulations also. So definitely important there. And then also they have spontaneous inspections. So that's good in the sense that you have to be prepared every single day. And then for the fundraising factor, just showing the minimum regulations for the Global Federation of Animal Sanctuaries. I actually took an Excel document and I took the square feet and I put down how many monkeys we could have in one building and just literally started out like that. And then also there's minimum USDA regulations for laboratories. And so we actually have a few of those cages on site just to kind of show people what sending monkeys to sanctuary means, because people will get upset when they see monkeys behind the mesh that we have on our enclosures, but monkeys aren't native here and they can't be released to the wild. So really having those multiple enclosures is key. And then what we did was we studied what monkeys do in their natural habitats and read books on how they live in India and looked at that they eat more fruits in the morning and more vegetables in the afternoon. And so we actually, to keep it simple, we give them a variety of fruits and vegetables in the morning, in the afternoon, and then give them greens throughout the day. They travel and forage as well in the wild, so we want to make sure to give them multiple environments so they can go where they choose. It's all about preference for us. We're all about positive reinforcement training. So if they need to shift from one enclosure to the next, to safely get in there and clean, that's what we will then lock them off and safely enter an enclosure. You'll never see us in a same enclosure with a monkey. That's just that's not what we do. And it also sets a bad example if the public sees that you're in an enclosure with a monkey, or say a pet monkey who really loves people. If they're climbing all over a person's going to want that animal.
Oh,
They're going to want to buy a monkey as a baby. So we're hands off for safety, for appearance, and because the monkeys are wild animals. So that's pretty key, and following those regulations. Mistakes I've made. Well, I did want to suggest that I think it's important to diversify fundraising, and writing grants, it was huge for me. Also increasing awareness to the public, getting businesses involved.
yeah.
But getting contractors involved, super difficult. But when you do find a contractor who cares about your mission, then they'll give you an estimate that is reasonable. Like a contractor once told me, it is possible to make money off of people without ripping them off.
Yeah,
So,
true.
but then also if you don't know any contractors, getting 3 bids, who cares how long it takes you? Just doing it, getting them to commit, getting them to give you a bid for that building, because then you can grant right around it. One mistake I made, I tried to do the estimating myself through the internet
Mm,
and stuff. And so I wrote a grant and we got the funding, but we were still $50,000 shy of building the building because I didn't estimate enough. And that was due to the fact contractors weren't getting back to me. And I just thought, well, if I roughly have what I drew out, but really what I regret is I should have taken the time to get those bids and had the architect draw up the plans and really officially get all those bids. And, it took us 16 years anyway. What would have been a few more years. So, doing it right and grant writing to make sure you're not falling short, because then the years kept going on to this medical center. Well, year after year, the inflation increased as well.
yeah,
So our solution is we're building a smaller building that is for volunteers, and the medical building for the monkey physicals and a kitchen. Smaller building there that's more affordable. And then our monkey building is going to be separate when we do raise enough funding for that. So that's kind of how it's evolved over the years, but definitely some learning lessons there.
and that is important. Like it's just so interesting. Like as you know, Amy, and also you guys out there, like when you get to get out there and get your feet wet, like you get to get into work, because so many people I was also one of them in the past. Hold myself back to I get to be perfect, get to have the right thing down, and years go by. That means I waste opportunities and also waste life for me to be in my nerds for being perfect. We will fall, we will make mistakes, and one of my mentors in life, he says, we will make mistakes and we will fall, and that is not okay. It is a part of the journey. That shift my mindset about failing, because I hear a lot of time it's okay to fail, it's okay to be messy. When he flip it, that he say it is not okay, it is necessary for you to be successful. I was like, oh, that is a new way how to look at that. And that's just like shift my mind and really see, okay, that's necessary for me to be successful is fall and make mistakes and be messy. It is not okay. It is part of the journey to be successful. Yeah, it's just like very interesting.
That's
So,
what's so inspiring about you. Thank you.
oh, oh, thank you. Um, so to you guys, you get to get out there and just learn. You learn by doing, and because we as Amy and I, we take some actions, and from that actions we have feedback, we have knowledge to know, okay, what worked, what did not work, what is one thing I get to shift, who do I get to ask, who have done this before. Amy have done, she have created sanctuary before for monkeys. That is a way, a person to go to when you out there want to create that for yourself, wherever you are in the world. Amy is one of the person to go to ask support. You get to go to the person that have created, that have successful created, because they are the mentor in life that will move your needle forward faster compared to as someone that's just in the beginning of the journey. Yeah. So, a next question, Amy, is how do you build a community that not only support this sanctuary, your sanctuary, but feels like they are part of it, part of the mission?
Oh, way back when, over 20 years ago, just being at those festivals and having the tables, the people will come out to you at people who are interested. So it's kind of nice. In a way, you're kind of a sitting duck. Anyone can come up to you. But at the same time, it's a really great way of having people who care about the mission, selecting them out. Even prior to having the sanctuary established, I hosted monthly meetings, would advertise those in the paper as well. So that was a great way to get people who cared out. Now, I've received compliments over the years because I've actually, one of our meetings, we had animal rights and researchers together at the meeting, and people thought, well, did fur fly and what there big fights? And but no, we stuck to the common ground. We stuck to the mission of Primates Incorporated, which was sending monkeys to sanctuaries from laboratories. How can we make it possible? So we brainstormed on it. There was no name calling. So sticking to that common ground, getting people who care involved, being in the press was huge because more caring people came out to find you because it is so expensive to advertise, as you know, and get that word out. So then the next challenge was getting people involved for the volunteering. Leading, really following up with volunteers. You really want to follow up with a volunteer pretty much as soon as they ask to sign up.
Yeah.
I've had mistakes made there. I'd love to have a volunteer coordinator in the future who's paid to just keep track of everyone. But a workaround is you have different areas of volunteers, so then you have different volunteers leading different volunteers. Also different staff. So we have our animal care manager recruiting the animal care volunteers and training them along with the staff who trains them. Same with the behavioral volunteers. The on-site volunteer, they go with the person who's doing the most grounds work on site, and amazing staff member named Joey right now. So, having different points of person points to lead the volunteers in the areas they're interested is key. And then thanking the volunteers after 1, 2, 3, up to we've had 8 years of service for volunteers. So each year we get more creative. Shout out to animal care manager. She has the most creative gifts, but that we can give and thank our volunteers because they're donating their time. And then same with the donors, really appreciating them and sending out that thank you right away and telling everyone what their support resulted in. It's really hard to get funding for animal care employee costs, but if you can at least relate it to the care for the animals, what they're getting, what they're receiving, they've got those clean enclosures, enriching environments. So they're donating to that, which is the overall operations of the sanctuary. So storytelling as a result of giving is how I think bringing everyone into supporting the mission is key.
It's so good. And like one of the things that you also very doing amazing at that is I've been out there and volunteered like 10 times, the same place 3 times, all others was different places. And one of the things that is so critical as my own experience is really feel that I'm a part of the mission instead of I'm just an element to make the work happen. So I'm just an element to pay the organizations to be down there. And when I'm gone, that is like gone forever. So really like include the volunteer because they are, as you know, a critical element as a critical person to really get the message out there as to be one unit to build together. So I really love that you really include the volunteer in your work so that they feel part of the mission instead of just a volunteer, as some people have that experience as to be a volunteer. So thank you so much for changing the way how we get to work with volunteers. That is really a critical element to really make the organization keep going forward.
Thank you. That's really critical.
It is. And I also believe, as you know, Amy, that to you guys out there, volunteer work when you go out there into the life and work with organization, when you're paid forward, you're not only paid forward or being part of the mission, you're also really unlocking some hidden gift or unlocking some emotions or experience or belief in yourself that a human never will unlock in you. Working with an animals that has been through, like, as I say, hill and back, because of our lifestyle. When you work with that kind of animal, they need us so they can thrive a living a worth it life. Really connect with something so deep in us that I will believe a human, no matter how good the person is, can't get into touch. So to be volunteer is a critical element, as I see it, for your own transformation and for you to also really, really enjoy life and live life to the fullest as the person you are in this world. So how do you stay in alignment with your souls of your sanctuary when challenges your faiths or energy?
Well, it is definitely can be easy to give up hope and don't rely on those likes increasing or don't get offended by comments or people not understanding. You just have to ignore that or learn from it. Also, people criticizing, that's a learning opportunity. And then also, if you're getting feedback, and to try not to be defensive, like,
Oh,
oh, I know I've thought of that before. That kind of defensive attitude, just it's okay because just know that people are giving feedback because they care. And if they suggest something that maybe isn't going to work, you could either address it with facts right away or, oh, we'll take that under consideration. So just knowing that anytime you get feedback, I mean, any attention's good, basically. Any publicity is good publicity. So and then and Tanya, you know this, keeping at it. So every action you take causes a ripple, even if there's not a like involved or whatever.
Mm.
It's causing that ripple effect. And so you have to keep taking the action. So even if I had my to-do list of 30 things, if I'm on a low energy day, really busy, and I don't feel very motivated to really think and write that grant proposal that day, well, I might focus on something on my to-do list that's a little less sucking of the energy, and I could
Yeah.
maybe watch a movie in the background or something like that. So to keep that balance there, and then this year I literally felt like I lost hope a little bit because, and I asked the online robot, our donations down for organizations. And it did say because of the uncertainty, people, yeah, nonprofits are concerned. And so overall, we do have a worry. And then I was worried about myself and sustainability of the org.
Yeah.
So I spent the last 2 to 3 years constantly delegating out whatever I can to staff and volunteer and board members so that I can ensure the organization succeeds,
Mm.
because I would say I can't take on too much because I'm not going to be able to do it. And then what good is that?
Yeah.
So I spent all that time delegating out to so that I don't get burned out. And that's really important after 22 years of doing this. But then this year also, because of learning that fact that it's going to be harder to raise money, we need to increase our awareness, keep at the grant writing. But then I thought I've got to do whatever I can to pull out all the stops. And I decided, since I was able to delegate all that out, I'm going to put my energy here. And so I drew inspiration from you, Tanya, and I created my own YouTube channel
Oh,
called the
really? Go,
Helper.
Amy.
And I wrote a diet book called The Monkey Diet. I'm selling to help raise funds for the monkeys. That, like, anything. I'm sure there's a to-do list of different ideas that one has to get things going. And like, I thought, okay, well, since we can't do this, this is going to be really challenging this year. We're going to do this to increase awareness, pull out all the stops. And I've got to tell you, it really helped. I wrote an op-ed about 2.5 months ago, wrote every newspaper and magazine I could think of. And then finally it came out this Sunday in the State Journal, and also online at the Progressive. And I was just so thrilled and thankful because that's just so key. I'm trying to argue to get the word out for the monkeys as we did for chimps. We helped the chimpanzees. Now it's time to help the monkeys. So just pulling out all the stops, and now that's reinvigorated me, Tanya. I'm not losing energy. I'm now gaining it because I decided I'm going to keep at it.
Oh my God, it's super powerful. Like you take your power back, as one person will say to me, like you just take your power back and flip it or pivot so that we get connected with what make us, like, what is the spark, what is the, like, what is the light that light us up, that we feel is so fun and joyful for us to do. For me, it's like, as you know, like make fun videos or get my voice out there, and it's so critical we choose that to give that as a benefit or give us that as a win. So we do the thing that is most challenging or the move the needle faster as the first thing on the day, so that our brain, okay, I get to do this and I can do the fun things that I really enjoy and love. Afterwards, when I'm done, that is like my award, or what you call, like, that is my win or something I give to myself to celebrate. Okay, I did it. Now I can do something that's fun or light, or that's really make my energy get up and have it a blast or have fun in that moment, or whatever I get to say.
Positive reinforcement.
Exactly,
That
exactly.
too.
That's that word. And it's just so interesting when you share about, and thank you for your word, Amy. That means so much to me because we never know who is watching our thing. And as you point out, that is so critical. Uh, we get to stop to see how many likes did I get, how many comments did I get, because there's so many people that is seeing it without liking a comment or sharing it. Because I mean that more often that a person like no, now you, Amy, say that, and we get to stop to make that like a quick fix, like how many likes did I get? How many comments did I did nothing. I must do. I'm maybe not good at this. It's like that is not the case as well how social media is working these days. Um, and I like you when you create like the YouTube video because more people want to see like what is going on in Amy life, like what is behind the curtain, what is behind the work, to connect with you on a deeper level. And people love to see that kind of video instead of most of the time see Anna Ball being saved. They want to see this like what is going on in your daily life or cleaning video or journaling video. It's just very interesting what people like, what get the most liked compared to what get the least liked on the YouTube.
Yeah, it's fascinating, but yeah, the goal is to not let it affect you personally.
Yeah. Oh my God, so true, so true. And it's just so it's one point that's so critical to out there, guys. Amy know the work that everything in life is a mirror. So when a person make a comment that is like, oh, that stink. Like I could feel that, like I get a little bit upset or sad or angry, or I want to get at them. It is just a mirror into myself what I get to look at because it is nothing with the person. So when a person comment one of my posters or send me a very interesting message that can be a little bit spicy. It is just a mirror into, okay, what kind of reactions do I receive in me when I read this? Because that person just gave me a gift to look inside myself to say, okay, what do I get to let it go, work on, or talk with someone? Because it's never about the person sending it to me. It's never about what is standing. It's something my brain's telling me there's something in the past that I have not yet looked at, or I have not yet healed, like really deep healing, like the ground healing. And so it can be a little bit spicy out there, and I 100% that it can also hurt or it can affect you. Just know that it's never about the person, it is about yourself. There's your brain telling you that are you ready to look inside yourself, or are you just willing to hurt someone else that just hurt you to be, so to say, be a victim by your own actions? Because everything is a choice. You choose how you act, you choose also how you react. You could choose to be empowered by it, or you could choose to go down at the bad road to be a victim and do nothing good for the monkeys. How you really make a change for the monkeys is also you to really owning your voice as Amy did, as Amy have done, and really share it and stand by your value. And people will hate you for it. And congratulations, more haters you get, you more success do you have. So it's just like how you match, like how you vote yourself on how many haters you get, how many success do you have exactly. Just very interesting.
And relying on the all the wonderful humans out there, I'm helping animals
Yeah.
and our supporters and everyone who supports animals. You help keep me going, so thank you for
Oh,
your work, everyone.
I get really bit emotional because you know me. I mean, I have also hot moments. So thank you so much.
Yes, and likewise. So thank you for the opportunity, Tanya. This has been great.
Oh, amazing. So I have one question. I'm curious to ask you a little bit sideways because you are the expert around monkeys. Um, do you know about, because I've heard before with like coconut, like coconut milk or coconut um milk drink, like all the kind of coconut, what that is coming from a coconut. Like most places, they use a monkey to get up in the trees to get the coconut down. What information do you have to share around that? I'm just curious to know.
I would say to look it up on YouTube and online. And also wild trapping of monkeys for research. I saw online how they actually cut away the trees to get to the monkeys who are in the tree
Oh my
to
God.
trap that family to get them. And I was like, how environmentally destructive. And I wish I knew more. I have heard about the monkeys and the coconuts too. It's just outrageous. Monkeys and entertainment too.
Yeah.
I'm the primate helper. I videotape myself, saying when you travel, don't take pictures with animals who are on chains or leashes. Don't ride animals. Just like support the ecotourism and support them in their natural environments. And you can support the humans doing that because the better the humans are treated, the better the animals are treated.
Mm.
So you can support all of that when you're traveling. So just as an aside, but I will look into the coconut thing and I'll post about that on YouTube too.
Yeah, because people, it's just right now, because in my mind it's just like, it's monkey, of course it's not monkeys that have been in the lab as you work with. It's still like, my point just like, we just get to keep the monkey wild. A monkey is a wild animal and it belongs in the wild. It's not like a cat and dog that has been through hundreds of years with a human. Monkeys have not been there. Uh, so it's very interesting about like the different things. Like, a monkey will always be wild, no matter where the monkey come from. The monkey still have the wild, what you call behavior as a monkey in the wild, as my point of view on it.
And at least send the monkeys to sanctuary who are working in the coconut trees because I'm sure they're overworking them, but I
Oh
mean,
my
I
God,
don't know for sure, but yeah,
it's
it's pretty
crazy.
sad though. I'm sure there's footage online.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy. So to you guys that's with Amy and I here on Zoom, and what questions do you have for Amy about the topic we're talking about, or do you have a different kind of questions? You are welcome to ask Amy about that. And to you on YouTube, please put it in under the video so that Amy and I will get back to you and answer your questions you put there. So please put it in the chat here on Zoom, or put it wherever you see this video so that we can get back and answer you with our answer. So when people choose to put a comment or questions in the comments, Amy, I will share all the social media link for you guys. So please share with the audience, like, where can people get connected with you guys?
Our website is primatesinc.com. That's primatesinc.com. And then you can also click the contact button there and I check that email. And then also there's the About Us section and resources that frequently ask questions. So if there's any researchers out there who want to send monkeys to sanctuary, we have a section there. Also a section for pet monkey owners. And so there's resources that you can find out about the need to help monkeys there.
No, amazing. I will just see if there is some comment here. Um,
Oh, thank you for sharing our social media.
oh, you're most welcome. So with the last word, Amy, what is one thing you would like the audience to go with after seeing this interview?
I do want everyone to think about the monkeys that you're not seeing, and this is the monkeys that are in the labs and breeding facilities nationwide. And even though there's over 100,000 of them, the excuse not to help them because there's thousands is too much money. That's just a poor excuse. And I think the more that we help them and the more we can do to work together to help them, I'll continue to work with the labs and researchers I can to help them help the monkeys under their care achieve sanctuary. And I probably still would be in the lab today caring for the monkeys had I been able to make improvements But I just found I couldn't make improvements anymore. So I had to leave my 97 rhesus friends behind and tell the students and train them and all they could do for the monkeys. And so that in that regard, I can relate to animal care staff and researchers who grow close to the monkeys under their care. And Primates Incorporated is here to provide a resource to help the monkeys achieve sanctuary, but there's no federal funding. There's basically no funding to help the monkeys. There's wonderful foundations who have been supportive and will give a shout on social media. But really, the monkeys need our help, and people just don't know about it.
Yeah, exactly. So one thing I would like to ask, something that pop up, how people can support to end that kind of work, what is happening in the lab. What kind of what kind of product do the person get to say no for? Because some product is test on, like, of course, cat, dog, rats, monkeys, you name it, what kind of, there's so many animals in the lab to be tested on. So what is the product that a person gets to say no to end lab with animals?
Well, we have been shopping with our dollars, which is good for the cosmetics testing. So choosing those products that aren't tested on animals. But then I don't comment on other primate research going on because I don't know the full details. But I
Okay.
can tell you, Google, online searches for universities and primate testing, the universities themselves will tell you exactly what they're doing and show their journal articles. And then for drug development testing, there's still quite a bit of animal testing involved there. So we actually have a few donors who donate to us because they know their medications were tested on animals. And then the animal welfare folks who are donating there are the causes out there who are lobbying for alternatives to animal testing to be implemented. And I and there it takes all different causes. So our mission is to help the monkeys um achieve sanctuary from the testing, because the reality is that thousands of monkeys are being tested on. And so I'd like the animal rights who only donate to the organizations who are implementing the alternatives. I'd like the animal rights groups to know, and the animal welfare advocates to know, that sanctuaries are being overlooked. They're walking billboards for the animals who need our help. So that I ask that you please support sanctuaries as well, in addition to your support for advocacy.
Amazing, my friends. Amazing. With that word, guys, thank you so much for watching this amazing interview with Amy and I. We will invite you to share this interview with people that come in your mind when you watch this, or people that you would like to educate about monkeys in the lab and how we can end it and how we can support organizations as Amy, amazing organizations, really put the awareness out there, put the word out there, so that we create a stronger awareness about what is exactly happening out there and how can we be a person that make an impact or change the way how we look at it. So Amy, thank you so much again, my friend. It has been a blessing as always. I enjoy always to talk with you and to see what you're putting out there. And I really, it's a huge blessing to really knowing you as call you my friends and support you and the amazing work you're doing with the monkeys.
Oh, thank you, Tanya. Likewise, appreciate the opportunity today.
You are most welcome. So to you guys, thank you so much. Have a beautiful Tuesday. Have a beautiful day, and to you have really go out there and support the monkey that need you. So go now. Where can people find you again, Amy? To end with that.
Primatesinc.com.
Exactly. Go there now to follow them on the different social media and sign up to their newsletter and be part of the work, so that you keep yourself updated on what is going out there and how you can educate yourself and give that message forwards to be a responsible person by the work and be here in the world. So thank you guys. Have a beautiful day and See you soon again. Bye, everyone.